The inventory management process in SAP Business One is very powerful yet easy to use. Today we're looking at the cockpit of a typical inventory manager. This inventory manager has set up his common functions widget to allow him to get at things like item master data. He can do goods receipts and good issues from here. He can look up serial number and batch details. He can look at bin location information from the warehouse. He can do transfers between multiple warehouses, and he can create pick, pack, and manage his pick lists from here as well. Price lists are also managed from the inventory module. This person has set up his widget to look at a typical inventory flow in SAP Business One. So we can see that inventory is managed in warehouses, so goods can come in either through a manufacturing goods receipt, could come in from a vendor return or a customer return, or it could come in from a goods receipt PO. It also goes out of the warehouse through delivery or shipments. It could be a return to a vendor, or it could be an issue to a manufacturing order. So it's easy to control from here. Let's take a look at the item master data information. When we click on the item master quick link, we can get to the item master data. In this case, we can see a typical item in SAP Business One. An inventory item can be a stockable inventory item, it can be a sales item, or it can be a purchase item, or it can be a combination of all three, as it is in this case. We can see that this is a food item and it's in a food group, but you have the ability to set up your inventory items in different kind of item groups for reporting. And in this case, we are managing this item in batches on every transaction that we transact in the system. This gives us good control for things like FDA compliance. We can also look at purchasing data for something like this. So if this is an item that we are going to purchase, we can see a vendor who we buy this from, and a multiple vendors that would be alternatives to our preferred vendor if that vendor was out of stock. Other things that we can see here are sales data. So if we had sales data of this item to anybody, we could see who we've sold it to from here. But the inventory data tab is more important. When we look at this, these are the multiple warehouses that we have set up for this company. And we can see that in our general warehouse, we have 75 of these items in stock. And this item has its own inventory unit of measure, but it could have a purchasing unit of measure as well as a sales unit of measure for each one of these items. We have 550 on order, which gives us an available to promise of about 625 since we don't see any committed orders on this item. And then we can also track costing in this screen if we have the security and permissions to view. Under the Planning Data tab, we can see that this is a make item. So this is a manufactured item that we have, and we plan this by MRP. We do this from a bill of material, and we do it bi-weekly. We have different kinds of rules here that allow us to plan our parts by whatever kind of definition you set up. In this case, we have options for bi-weekly, daily, every 3 days, monthly, weekly. You define how you plan and how you run your business, and the system takes care of the rest. We also manage order multiples, minimum, maximum quantities, and then we do some lead time planning based on vendor performance. So this could be either your manufacturing lead time or your vendor lead time to use so that you have the right parts at the right place at the right time. Under production data, if this is a manufactured item, you would see that you have a bill of material that's associated with this item. And a quick drill down on the golden arrow can show me all of the other inventory items that go into making this item. So we can see that with a simple click. But there were 3 raw material items and we used 4 manufacturing resources to make it. The Properties tab allows us to slice and dice any kind of information we need on an inventory item as well. This makes it pretty simple for us to manage items inside the system. Now if we go back and look at the ability for the Pick and Pack Manager, this allows us to use our warehouse resources to pick and pack orders efficiently. In this case, you can see we can select orders for picking and packing by document types, by posting dates or required dates, by a customer name or number, by an item number. So it gives you a very powerful tool to pick how am I going to select items in the warehouse today. By simply clicking on the OK button, this then accumulates all of the sales orders that are in the warehouse today that are ready to ship to a customer. This is what we see here in the Pick and Pack Manager. We see that all of these sales orders are available, and I can go in as a manager and start selecting, which allows me to release these items to a pick list, or I could actually create a transfer request or an invoice or an issue right from this screen as well. In this case, we're going to take a look at what has been released for picking. These are the orders that are out in the system today that are ready to pick in our warehouse people. These are distributed in a number of different fashions, but these allow us to click on the headers and sort by number or by units, or however we do it. Delivery dates would be proper. And then once we release these to the picking people, they go out and they pick the orders. Once they pick the orders, now we have the ability to simply create the AR invoices or the delivery ticket right from this list in an automated fashion. So this allows us to easily batch our processes from inventory to get them out to customers and bill accordingly. And that's a quick overview of the inventory functionality in SAP Business One.